Recce.
So here we are, end of a long day's driving, and this is the Airbnb place for the night, just outside Darfield to the west of Christchurch. Well, good morning, here we are in our basic little first night accommodation, but look, it's in a gorgeous location. Airbnb in Riverton. It's actually delightful. It's lovely. It's clean. It's spacious. So here we are, Colac Bay. Beautiful. I mean, just look at it. Absolutely
There's an island
gorgeous.
out there. Look at that. We don't know what it is.
Oh, shut up. Look, I think that might be Bluff over there, and I think that might be Stewart Island over there. I shall clarify momentarily. Anyway, either way, it's beautiful, so I don't care. I don't care. I should be geographically embarrassed, and there we go.
That's very lovely.
Okay.
Very lovely.
Right. So here we are, one of the absolutely magnificent, unspoiled beaches of Southland. I mean, look at it. And that's Fiordland out over there, and then that way is Antarctica, and there really is nothing, that's the Southern Ocean. So the Fovo Strait is going to be over to the left there, which is the strait between the bottom of the South Island, Invercargill and Bluff, and Stewart Island, which is the third of the main New Zealand islands. So look, here's the lagoon, absolutely drop dead gorgeous. There's Fiordland National Park. Decisions to be made. This was unrealistic, too much work, too near top of our budget. So probably a no, but we'll see. Conversations to be had. So here's the ground. So this is the Airbnb bit of the property, yeah, okay, so fairly small bed actually. Yeah, nice telly, nice little bathroom. Oh, gorgeous shower. Got a microwave. So driving between Mossburn and Ojai. So these are the Takatipu mountains, I believe. I shall avoid geographic embarrassment by checking later. So this is the approach to Ojai, which is the third of the communities that we'll take a look at. This one's interesting. It's a community that's been on the decline. It used to be a coal mining centre. The decline may or may not have been halted by a steady influx of people just like us from the north of New Zealand flocking south to the more affordable parts. But as you can see, it's a gorgeous drive in. Over to the left there, where we're pointing at the moment, are the Takatipu mountains. Again, if we saw the other side of those, just interesting. The challenge is, can we get tourists to come here? There isn't an Airbnb operation in this place yet. Yeah, quite a lot of near derelict properties though. Yeah, so that's been an interesting first day of property viewing. It's going to be a compromise, who knew? So, you know, saw 3 properties, one down by the beach in a drop-dead gorgeous location. I mean, really, really to die for. But not be Airbnb ready, not by quite a long way, a lot of work required, and at a price point where we wouldn't have been able to make a go of it. So we could have ended up stuck in a gorgeous location without an Airbnb business, which would have sucked. Then we saw a place in Mossburn. It's on a busy road, but that busy road contains business, and perhaps not the perfect location. I don't know. We're still discussing it. But he's already running an Airbnb business very successfully. And there's potential at the price point to put another cabin in immediately, so at that point we're in comfortable living territory. And then we've just been to the small community of Ojai. It's one of those communities that you either have to believe in it and make a go of it or not. And I guess at the end of the day, the thing that broke it for us was we couldn't really understand how to attract guests there. It's not a natural tourist destination, a little bit too cut off from everything. So say this is our Airbnb for the first couple of nights down here in Southland, and yeah, it looks a bit better today. It was a bit grey and gloomy when we arrived last night, and now it's not, which is rather good. So welcome to Riverton.
Quite a slight change of plan. We're off this morning, and what a glorious morning! Look at that. So we're off this morning to go recheck out Mossburn and ask some more questions about the place. Yeah. So we've cancelled the rest of the Ojai visits, and then we've got to be in Bluff for the next Airbnb later on. But hey, look at that for a morning. Whoa! Yeah, that's the second visit to the Mossburn place. Lovely guy who owns it. So here we are, just on the drive into Bluff. Gorgeous little harbour. So we're going to have a look at a few properties here, and we're staying for 2 nights at an Airbnb here. So that's going to be interesting. So here we are going up Bluff Hill,
quite a famous hill because the Tour of Southland bike race comes up here. It's the finish of one of the legs of that, I think. So right at the top end of our budget for a property that doesn't have current Airbnb potential and needs a lot of TLC, as with any older property, but yeah. So here we are at what tourists will proudly say is the end of New Zealand, and it's not! So this is the symbolic chain which connects Stewart Island to the South Island. Rather grand, isn't it? Nice bit of public sculpture. There's the start of Te Aroa, so 3,000 kilometres later, all the way up to the north of the North Island and Cape Wrangel, which isn't the north of the North Island in the same way that this isn't actually the south of the South Island. But anywho, and they've had to make these out of eastern stuff, because of course keep nicking them and taking them home to bedroom doors. Right, so very interesting. We thought we were all ready to go with the place on Foyle Street, which is an old early 20th century, so let's say 1920s property. And now we've just seen the place on Pier Street, which is yeah, it's a lot more Airbnb ready. It's about the same price, gorgeous black backyard, impeccably maintained. I mean, just gorgeous. So I think that's probably the one we're going to go for. And meanwhile, here's the view at the entrance to Bluff Harbour. So look at that tide streaming out of there. And then here's Sarah. And here's Kitty. That's very pretty. And so there's TY Point again. The aluminium smelter, for which we need lots of
electricity, my darling.
Yeah, yeah.
It uses at least 20% of New Zealand's electricity. It's got big old pylons going from there to there. There to there.
You heard it here first, folks.
Did you fart in the car?
No?
You sure?
No. It's all on video.
Yesterday was a bit of an upsy-downsy day, so we were preparing to put an offer in on a 1910 or thereabouts villa. Drop dead gorgeous, but I think we fell in love with the place without really thinking the business implications through, because there wasn't really the Airbnb potential was not short term, and it could have been a money pit. So anyway, we then went on to see a place further along in Bluff, and it's really nice. It's an old place again. But it's all been absolutely impeccably maintained. Has a huge yard. A lot of Airbnb potential, so we're going to be putting an offer in on that place later today. So need to go and have a chat with Invercargill City Council about their consenting processes. This is Invercargill, the main city in Southland. So the entire Southland region only has 100,000 people. across 30,000 kilometres, so very, very low population density. And when you think that Invercargill city has 50,000 of those, you begin to see that it is an empty province. So interesting morning. Met with Invercargill City Council. Really, really nice guys. I think, as with all building and consent people, if you're showing willing to do right, then they'll have the conversation. They'll give you guidance. That's great because it stops you getting into a hole. So yeah, we're pretty comfortable that we can do what we wanted to do, what we need to do in terms of establishing an Airbnb business. So we're off to go and see Demolition World, which is near the top of TripAdvisor's things to do in Invercargill, which we'll let you know how that goes. So this is Demolition World. So it's basically a building recyclers. Pretty awesome. So I think we'll be back because when we do the extension, we'll certainly want to make it look authentic.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
See, we could have one. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so chickens everywhere.
Oh my god, I said don't say the barbecue!
So the whole little chapel building. Right, like this. Well, it's splendid. So we've just left the lawyers after signing our lives away. So we've made the decision. We're buying a place high on the hill in Bluff. So that's quite exciting. So I suspect some of you in the audience are coming to the conclusions that we are rash lunatics. Lunatics, I say. Where's the thought? Where's the planning? So look, welcome to our world. So no, there's a lot of gut feel. I mean, look, the bottom line is we know we can live there very happily. So that's for sure. So if necessary, we just get sort of more conventional jobs and they don't have to be very demanding jobs because we're home free. We've used cash to buy the property. So welcome to Slope Point. As I have pedantically said on several occasions, this is the southern point of the South Island. And so that's an interesting bit of geography there. So the equator is 5,140 kilometres away, the South Pole is 4,803 kilometres away. So we're only just over halfway, between the equator and the South Pole, and yet you tend to think of New Zealand sticking out, being a long way south. It's not. So here we are at Curio Bay, just another stunning deserted beach, and you've got to remember this is the Easter weekend, so okay, it's not midsummer, but our experience of New Zealand is that even in midsummer a place like this is just still, by North American or certainly UK standards, it's still absolutely deserted. You might see a handful of people.
Did you read about the penguin?
Yeah, so this is home to the rarest penguin in the world, the yellow-eyed penguin.
Apparently the juveniles hop about around now. So.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay. Good morning. Here we are embarking on the drive home. It's going to be a long day. So we've got a 10-hour drive ahead of us to back up to Kaikoura. It's Good Friday, so chances are there's going to be quite a bit of traffic on the road as well. Well, quite a bit in relative term. If you're from LA, there's no traffic on the road whatsoever. If you're from the UK, there's a teeny bit of traffic on the road.
That's how much traffic there is on the road.
And for New Zealand, look, this is a traffic jam.
Yeah, there it is.
Good morning, it's got light, and here we are in the delightfully named Gore. So welcome to Dunedin, the Edinburgh of the South. So two of our girls came to university in Dunedin. It's a university town. So a little stop for a stretch legs, because we've still got over 5 hours to go. So we're just stopping at the Moeraki boulders, which are, as you'll see in a moment, quite a unique Kiwi attraction. Another wild beach on a bank holiday weekend, and look, it's disappointingly crowded.
But I think must be 850 or so kilometres. We're just on the final leg into Kaikoura, waiting at the stop and go section where they're doing the repairs from the Kaikoura quake. Yeah, it's nice out there. Look at that.
Last day of the Recce, so yay! Not such a long drive today, only a couple of hours up to Picton. So last night ended up being the worst of the Airbnbs. It was too expensive to be basic. So a little detour on the final leg between Blenheim and Picton. This is the magnificent Queen Charlotte Sound. It doesn't get a lot better than that. So here we are back in Picton. Time for some thoughts about the week. What a week! Set out on a recce, bought a house. Woo! What have we done? I think it's a place we can live in. It's lovely, and bought in cash. So, but again, we've got to not jump the gun too much. I mean, it looked in really, really good nick, but we've still got a builder's report and electrical inspection to be done, but that's the last of the formalities. So try and aim for, at the moment the close date's end of May. I think we'll try and bring that forward by a couple of weeks. But a good week. I mean, the weather has been absolutely impeccable. I can't help wondering what would have happened if it had been a more typical week's weather, autumnal weather in New Zealand. Would we have been quite as decisive?
Oh. It would just have been magnificent, but a different kind of way.
Yeah, sunny weather. And the nice thing about living down there is that we do get to, you know, Bluff in particular, when those big southerlies come through, oh boy, are we, you know, we're going to get hit. So it'll be nice living in a cosy insulated house. So anyway, so there you go. So that's where we're at. So really good week, and now just to catch the non-existent ferry back.